Hi there, my name is Samuel. This is my video entry for you guys. I do have some notes down here, so you might see me look down from time to time, just trying to keep my thoughts and myself organized. So basically what I'm going to do is just kind of go through kind of that whole email that you sent, hit all those bullet points, and let you know why I think I would be great for the position at Nomadicare. So the first thing you mentioned was lover of the game Guess Who. I personally played this game most of my childhood. I still own it and still play it every once in a while here at home. But this is also something I do on a day-to-day basis. Not necessarily matching people with people, but I match people with food, people with drinks. Sometimes I'm given very few clues as to what they want and kind of have to figure it out from there. They could say, I had this drink, my friend brought it to me, it was really sweet, and it had a lot of caffeine in it, and I want to try that again. And from that, I have to figure out, oh, it's this particular drink. And then I have to follow through, make sure that it's what they wanted or that they like it. So yeah, it's something I do day in and day out. Just matching people to things that I think they will like, things that fit for them. Juggling lots of communication at once is also something I do a ton of day in and day out. It can be, something as simple as greeting a employee that's coming onto the floor and telling them what position they're going to be in, all while communicating with the shift that's taking over, the manager, and letting them know where I've left off, where they're picking up. Or it could be a little more complicated where I'm practically carrying on two conversations at a time. I'll have somebody in my headset rattling off their order, while I also have somebody at the window and I'm still paying, attention to the person at the window, having a full-blown conversation with them, seeing how their day is, cashing them out, and then, going back to that first conversation, making sure I got their order right, and just confirming with them, and then, back to the second person, and so on and so forth. And I do that day in and day out, really. And I've gotten pretty good at it. I wasn't so great to begin with, but I've had a lot of practice, and I still feel like I can carry on several conversations while still making both or multiple people feel like they have my full attention. Being organized with a team remotely. I'm glad that you mentioned that you guys are like family. I do feel like when you're in a job or you have a working relationship with someone where you feel like family, it leads to more open and honest communication. You really find out how to communicate with people, kind of what their communication love language is, for lack of a better term. Just being able to figure out how they best communicate, how they best take in information. And yeah, I love the idea of being family where I work. Really gives everyone a sense of belonging, and a sense of like feeling safe and secure where you're at. And really, I haven't ever remotely communicated in a job. I haven't really ever had to. But I've lived away from home for several years, so kind of digital or virtual forms of communication I'm, pretty well versed in, just to be able to keep in touch with friends and family from back home. Next up, digital communication superstar. So this was my favorite section to read, because I feel like it really got to the heart of what you do in your company. You're bringing people to you, and you're just really making them feel valued as human beings, valued for what they do, what they have to offer, and you're treating people like they deserve everything good in the world. And I truly believe that about everyone. I try to see the best in everybody. And when I'm having a conversation with someone, you know, I don't just listen to them. I hear them, and I feel like that's something that a lot of people don't do. Most people listen to respond. I really want to sit down and I want to listen to people and I want to hear what they have to say, and I want them to know that they are being heard. And I really just want to bring light and happiness to every conversation and to everybody that I meet. I think people deserve that, no matter what. And I think I can do a really good job of connecting with people and, making sure that they are feeling just wholly understood, and that I can provide really good things for them because I am actually hearing what they have to say. Also in there was emojis and I don't want to say this word because there's the debate between GIF and GIF. I've always heard GIF, so that's what I'm going to say. If I'm wrong, please tell me, and I will totally fix it. But I really do love kind of the invention and the use of emojis and GIFs. I feel like they bring a little more depth to conversation that isn't being heard. So in texting, in writing, whatever it may be, adding an emoji, adding a GIF at the end of it, or in the middle of a sentence, or I feel like it really drives points home. I feel like it gets emotions across a lot better. So I think they're great. I love using them. I can definitely up my emoji and GIF game for sure, but I do love to use them. Next point is love of the details. So I have to admit, had I been applying for this job 5 or 6 years ago, I would have had to walk away for this round because the details were not something that were a high priority on my list. I was always kind of a big picture guy and always thought, the details, they'll fall into place. And the older I've gotten, first of all, age helps, personal growth helps, but I've also had the opportunity to have 2 jobs recently that, figuring out what the small details are, seeing the small details, and investing in the small details have really helped with the big picture. So now so much I'm not a big picture guy, but I realize that it is the small details that kind of build the big picture, and I think, I always look for them. I always look for the small details. I always try to follow through on small details, and I think that's really what helps get the job done. Next point is spreadsheets. I haven't used a spreadsheet since sophomore year in college. So while I have had some experience with them, I haven't had a lot of experience. But that being said, I'm a pretty quick study. I pick things up pretty quickly, and I also am lucky enough to have a girlfriend who is like a spreadsheet queen, so I can get some extra education at home as well. And that moves on to grammar and spelling. I'm not sure if you can tell by the video that grammar is one of my great loves. I'm a little nervous. I haven't ever really had to send in a video, but I do. I love grammar. I love spelling. Unintentionally, anytime I read something, I'm constantly editing, like looking at punctuation, looking at spelling, seeing if the flow of the sentence is good, if sentence structure is good. And I half the time don't realize I'm doing it, but now that I have kind of started investing myself into this position at Nomadicare, I find myself doing it all the time, and now I'm aware of it. But yeah, I can tell you the difference between there, and there. I can tell you the difference between your and your, and I will never, ever mistake those. but yeah, I do I love grammar. I love the English language. So I think I can be a real asset there. And then the last thing to talk about, and that you guys have made sure that we look at and go over and make sure that it's something we can do, is being an ambassador. And I think I would be a great ambassador for Nomadicare. I believe in what you guys do. Now, granted, I don't know a lot about what you do, but just from what I have read about the position, the points that you have made about this company, I can see that the basis of it is to just be great humans and be great to humans. And that is something that I can 100% get behind. It's something I will advocate for. I think if anybody said, oh, hey, what do you do? Oh, I work for Nomadicare. Oh, what's that? And I could 100% just advocate for you guys all day long and tell about what a great company you are, all of the things that you do, and you know that it's free. It's a free service, and I think the more I learn about it, and the more passion that grows in me for it, the more I will be able to advocate. And I think I can definitely do Nomadicare justice, just by word of mouth. I'm also very excited to learn a platform, or to get better at a platform rather, to kind of promote and be proactive and kind of put the brand out there. I did in this last or the first application. I think I clicked on Instagram. I follow a couple of people on Instagram that I really love how they do it, and you know they also promote and advocate for their own brands, and even just by watching them, I feel like I can learn a lot. But I would also really love to get into that and be a rock star at that. So yeah, I'd love to do that for you guys. Something that I read and I was kind of like, you guys said to not be afraid of rejection. And I guess I never really thought about it in a way of advocating for a brand, or like, you know, really tied to work at all. But I think my whole philosophy, kind of my whole life, has been, what's the worst someone can say? No. Does that hurt? Maybe a little. Am I afraid of it? No, not at all. So I'm not afraid to put myself out there. I'm not afraid of rejection. I think I can be a great ambassador for Nomadicare, because I have the skills you're looking for. I'm a people person. I connect with people genuinely and organically, and I have the drive it takes to work remotely, to communicate remotely. And yeah, I really hope that I am what you're looking for, and I really appreciate and I'm grateful for the opportunity to try and prove myself. So thank you for your time, and I'll talk to you soon.